The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my show from 5 to 9 a.m. every single Monday through Friday on WVNN in North Alabama. With me, as always, Mecca Music, CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people, smart enough to know that you shouldn't have written off Alabama too early. They're back in the mix. Big surprise. I don't know, do we coordinate?
I never lost faith.
By the way, why are we all blue? I don't know what's happening here today if you're
I
watching.
like it.
Okay, it looks good. But right now we got a lot to get into, including having the Attorney General, Steve Marshall, on the program. Lots to talk about with him, and so stay tuned for that. And then I've got a parting shot for you about the Deschler High School situation, and we'll talk about that. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to the 2-minute warning. All right, Mecca, let's talk about Montgomery. We sort of have to do this, and I'm going to let you in on a little bit of inside information. It's violent there. I know. It's somewhat surprising, and a lot of people are learning this for the first time. They've spent $2.5 million on a joint crime suppression task force. Seems to be working out great. And there's some talk of sending in the National Guard and all these other things. And it seems like everybody kind of wants to push off on that, except for one guy, Donald Trump, who seems to be able to will these things into existence. What's the state going to do? Here's what I hear. Everything's on the table.
That's exactly it. That was the statement, the official statement from Governor Kay Ivey. Everything is on the table as far as safety in Montgomery. I wanted to ask you about Mayor Reed's response. I was criticized heavily for lacking responsibility for the safety in his city.
Well, he's like, oh, we wouldn't have these problems. We didn't have constitutional carry. And here's my challenge to Mayor Reed. Show me the NRA cards of the people that did this. Because I'm telling you this right now, those aren't your constitutional carry advocates. All right, let's just be honest about it. I guarantee you the people that have done this have probably been arrested before and probably got light sentences. That's usually, shooting into a crowd of people is usually not the first go-round when you run into these situations. The other thing, he made that argument, then he said, jump off a bridge before you commit a crime. It's like, you're the mayor. Okay, I mean, I understand you're part of a political dynasty, and you got like a $6,000 a month firm getting you on CNN so you can talk about Kamala Harris and stuff like that. You got all these things going, but you're going to have to deliver something. And I know that he's quoted in the past saying, I don't have to deliver anything, and he's living up to that. So good for him. But he's a failure, and the state is going to have to do something here.
And that it very well looks like likely that could happen. And I would like to add, though, I love Montgomery. I think it's beautiful. I mean, it's where capital is. There's so many beautiful things about Montgomery. It is actually a shame, that it had seemed that things were getting better. The task force, things like that.
Look, in most big cities, you have this thing where you're like, oh, I like it. There's like a 6-block radius and stuff. But let me tell you a little story about when I was at the State House last time. I was doing my show from there, and I called the person who was going to let me in, and they opened the door like, come on. And I'm not kidding you. I was like, what's going on? And they're like, it's dangerous out here. And I'm dead serious. So Montgomery doesn't even have that little radius where everything's cool.
Well, the incident we're speaking of was literally 2 blocks from the Renaissance where
it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right. Speaking of ridiculous, the shutdown still going. Yes, it is still ongoing, and we shouldn't be surprised by this. It really doesn't look like there's any end in sight for this. You may remember last week's show where I said, this will be dealt with probably by the time a lot of you see this. I was wrong. I don't know if there is going to be an end in sight for any of this. It looks like Democrats are trying to hold firm on their idea that we need to get health care for illegal immigrants taken care of during this. And by the way, those subsidies aren't even up yet. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. They just want to use this as a way to get it done. And they're screaming about how if you don't do it, your healthcare costs are going to go up like 200%. Well, here's the thing. Your healthcare costs have already gone up. What they mean by that is you're going to have to pay for it instead of the federal government providing a subsidy for it. That is the legacy of Obamacare. Well, they tell you how great it has been. Well, it's been great as long as somebody else pays for your health care. Everything is perfectly fine. So that's what the hang-up is here. That is the issue. In the House, they've passed the clean bill. They're trying to get it done in the Senate. It doesn't really seem to be going anywhere. This thing could go on for a very long time.
I would like to point out, last week I pushed back against your oh, by the time this airs, this is going to be done. I just want to mention that it already had looked like last week that there were no ways, there was no negotiations, real negotiations happening at that time. And then what's interesting is polling has come out that is showing both sides. So each side, their base is happy with their actions. So
overall, you've got 30, I think it was 36-34, who to blame.
Yeah.
But 65% of the people who say that the Democrats should make a deal and get this over with and make that happen. So the numbers are there. I think Democrats have some bigger issues here with what's going on in New Jersey right now, what's happening in Virginia. You could have those races which they're supposed to win. They seem to be moving against them because you have scandals in both places where all of that's happening. So there is a little bit more that they have to deal with. The shutdown, though, I think goes on for another week.
Well, okay, so next week, isn't it soldiers will miss a paycheck? And then you've still got air traffic control issues at certain airports.
Which is dumb. They're going to get paid anyway. You guys are getting your money back. Trump tried to use it as leverage. That's called lying. And they're going to get their money.
You keep saying that, but some people need those paychecks.
I'm not suggesting they don't need their money. I'm not suggesting they don't need their money. What I'm saying is,
it sounds like it.
No, what I'm saying is they're going to get it eventually, and this sucks. That's what I'm saying. But I would also point out that they're going to get that money back. And the law, I think, should say they have to go to work anyway. That's what the law should say. But I would change that. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Nobel Prize. Am I eligible? Yes, I am. Will I win it? No. I will not accept if nominated. But maybe Donald Trump should. Donald Trump might be the guy we should be talking about with the Nobel Prize because he has done something, apparently, that a lot of people have tried to do, and no one's really been successful doing it. Peace in the Middle East, everlasting peace in the Middle East, a deal between the Palestinians and the Israelis, Qataris are involved, all this stuff. This is solely a Donald Trump phenomenon here. I'm sorry, it just is. I'm not suggesting you believe otherwise, but it solely is. This is a force of will, art of the deal. I'm going to bluster my way and bully my way into this.
This is absolutely a victory for Trump.
Yeah, absolutely.
An absolute victory, and he will rightfully claim it. So I am sure, or is rightfully claiming it. So I think there are still some questions on the longer term plan, but definitely like the next 72 hours are taken care of.
What I think is interesting about this is people are questioning, could Joe Biden have done this? Could Joe Biden do that? Yes. All he had to do is not give Iran a whole bunch of money and let this happen in the first place. And so is Donald Trump going to take credit for it? Yes. Does he deserve credit for it? Absolutely. I don't think there's any question about it. And kudos to him for bullying his way through this. And so here's the question, and then this is a question for you. Will Democrats give him credit besides John Fetterman?
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, can they not look at it and say, let's do that?
Absolutely not. You know that. That was like a rhetorical question.
No, it was. It was a rhetorical question.
Because that's not where we live right now. That is not the space we live in.
Yeah. Well, I just think the simple fact is the guy has been able to do everything he said he was going to do. Like, for as much as he BS's or lies, whichever way you want to look at it, the guy says, I'm going to end this war, and does. Now, I'll also point out, I don't think Trump cares how this ends. I don't think he cares. He just wants it over. Same thing with Ukraine. Yeah. I don't think he cares about it, how any of this.
He's results driven. That's how you should put it. Right. He's results driven.
Same thing. I mean, we've never had an American president successfully lean on the president of Israel like this. He pushed Netanyahu. He wasn't just pushing Hamas and Abbas and Qatar and all these other things. He was pushing them. And we were in a place where we were at relative stability in the Middle East when Trump left. And I think we could get probably back to that. And he does deserve a Nobel Prize. Give him 5 of them. That should probably work. All right, let's talk about Turning Point USA. Now, we've heard this story. The death of Charlie Kirk is an outrage, obviously. I think we've gotten all the people out of the public sector who decided it was a good idea to go on social media and get themselves fired by doing those things. I usually almost get myself fired on other things on social media, but that's how they decided to do this. But for some reason, we're still seeing problems. At the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, Turning Point USA wanted to have a chapter, and the student government said, no, you can't do that, which surely will stop them and not get reversed immediately. You also have in Madison County, Alabama, a church, the Movement Church. They're having an event with 1819 News' Brian Dawson, and it's a Turning Points event as well. and somebody rolls in and starts vandalizing the place. And I think it looks very similar to what we saw with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Right. If you remember that she had come to Huntsville, and there was graffiti
on the building at Stove House, and it was the same thing. And I just wondered to myself, like, do you understand this doesn't help you? Like, this does not help you. Screaming at people to shut up, screaming at them to sit down, and all this other stuff. Even Charlie Kirk, to take it to like an extreme, killing him did not help end his cause. If anything, it turbocharged it.
Absolutely.
He is a much more well-known figure. In Florida, they're thinking about having a law that says if you don't name a road on your university after Charlie Kirk, they're going to cut your funding. Now that's crazy. I disagree with it. Okay. I'm just saying. But my point is, Turning Point USA is now 10 times larger than it's ever was going to be. He was a player in Republican politics. He was a player with young people. Now he's a player with everyone.
Exactly. Now it's even
and
bigger.
That group is bigger.
But that's the same thing. With this graffiti incident, it does the same thing. You might have not known Brian Dawson was here. You might have not known this was happening. Well, now you do.
And they call Brian Dawson the Antichrist. And you know, Brian Dawson, this is Yellowhammer News, right? And he's with 1819 News. That guy's life story is pretty amazing. And the turnaround is based on Christianity. And he's going to a church, and Charlie Kirk was big on that as well. And they're going there and they're calling him the Antichrist. Go read the comments on Reddit. Go read the comments on social media posts. Go read them and look at all the people who are like, oh yeah, this is fine. You can absolutely do this. It's amazing. And it's very sad to see, because when you do stuff like this, all you're doing is exposing yourself. That's all you're doing. Not the people you're trying to hurt. You're helping those people. Mecca Music, here with us as always. I'm Dale Jackson. This is Alabama Politics This Week. Steve Marshall will be with us next.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes, because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay, and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
At Elite Door Service, we're your local experts for all things garage doors, residential and commercial. Our licensed and insured team is led by a certified master technician. When it comes to garage doors, don't settle for average. Choose Elite Door Service.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com. Scout Pest Control is locally owned and operated. We offer superb customer service and can even clean up after pests. When you think pest control, think Scout. Call us at 256-216-1088 or visit ScoutPestControl.com.
Think you need a new roof? Think again and save thousands. We'll help you put off the high cost of a roof replacement for at least 5 years.
Or 10.
Or sometimes even 15.
We're America's most trusted roofer because we always try to save your roof rather than replace it.
We'll restore your roof for a fraction of the cost of a new one. But don't wait. If your roof loses too much protective coating, it's too late. Call now or scan the code and we'll give you an assessment of your roof for free.
What if you could make a free phone call and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Right now, you could be paying as high as 20% interest. Your new interest rate could be reduced to as low as 2.48%. You can refinance any existing car loan or leased car and save money every month. Make this free phone call and learn how to save hundreds of dollars a year by refinancing your existing car loan.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music.
And this week we have Attorney General Steve Marshall and also Senate candidate here with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Always good to be here.
Now, before we get to the campaign, because I'm very interested in talking about that, I want to talk about your role as Attorney General of Alabama. Now, you've been highly visible in this role and ahead of a lot of things. How would you describe your position and what you've done in the state?
Yeah, when I walked in, sort of viewed it with the historical view of kind of the state's top cop, and look, that's kind of where I came from. It's what I care about, but never believed that you'd have the ability to have impact on a national level, and in some ways with the work that we did around gender affirming care at an international level. And so I think it's been the most fascinating place to practice law as a lawyer. But more importantly, I think you can have more impact with the staff that you have and the standing that you have legally to create positive, good change for Alabama than maybe any other political office.
A lot of it's about what you choose to fight on, and you have to choose those fights. And I think you've been pretty successful picking the right fights, good record, and winning those things. And I think you've been pretty successful there. But you've also been the victim of, I would say, maybe some pretty vicious political discourse. Also, as few people know this, someone tried to blow up your office.
Right.
And the national media was like, ho hum, bombing in Alabama, no big deal. And I was shocked by that. What did you think when that happened?
Yeah, I mean, when we were able to figure out who did it, number one, that they followed Antifa, they did not like Christian conservative public service officials, then Exhibit A.
And there was a transgender component to it too, right?
There was.
Yeah.
There was. And so when we found out who it was, it ultimately didn't surprise me. But it's sad, and maybe we've seen kind of it come full circle with Charlie Kirk's assassination, how far the left is willing to go, not only with their rhetoric, but in justifying political violence to somehow or another accomplish their goals and their means. You know, when you see polls that are coming out now that 26% of those who claim to be very liberal justify political violence, and that's not where we need to be, and it's not where our nation was founded.
I agree with that.
I would like to talk about the campaign now. Recently, a coalition of farmers, and you've always been very vocal on the important role of agriculture in the state, but came together from 55 counties to support your campaign. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, not only that coalition, but also to have Alpha's endorsement. You know, the farmers of Alabama that have a $51 billion impact on the economy of our state, almost 330,000 jobs across Alabama. You know, that's important, not only as to where we are economically, but I truly say, and this is a guy that's from Atmore, whose family's from Uri. My first working was on the family farm there. My first job was in a tobacco field in North Carolina. I mean, family farms are the fabric of who we are. Faith, families, the freedoms that we hold dear. And the fact that that group coalesced behind me and what we're trying to do for the United States Senate not only is a little bit of wind behind the sails, but it's an affirmation of what I've done as AG and what I think I can do as senator.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but you're the front runner in this race. The
polls, if you didn't know.
The polls indicate this, and I don't think there's any question about that at this point. Why the United States Senate? I mean, there's been a lot of questions about what you would do after your 2 terms were up, and where you'd go. Would you go to the governor? Would you try to be lieutenant governor? Maybe you want to go be the state auditor. I don't know. But you decided to go to the United States Senate and apply and try for that. Why?
Yeah, the decision was made not to run for anything else about this time last year. Governor didn't interest me, just didn't where I feel called. And yet there was still the passion for public service, but there wasn't another role that I saw. Never expected Tommy Tuberville to say, raise his hand and someone will come back home. And when he did that, it caused both Tammy and I, because this has to be a family decision when you make a decision to do this, both felt like that this was an opportunity to be able to continue to be able to make a difference. And a couple of colleagues from mine and from the AG days, one the Missouri AG Eric Schmidt, the other Ashley Moody from Florida, met with them to say, if the work that we've done as Attorney General, does it translate well as to U.S. Senator? And both of them said absolutely. When you think about much of what I've sort of staked our flag about is pushing back against federal overreach, trying to corral agencies and making sure they're acting within the authority given to them by Congress. Now, rather than doing it from the outside, you get to do it from the inside, to remind the federal government it's one of limited powers. where it is that it has an opportunity to make a difference and where it needs to stay out of the way.
So I like to, an old friend of mine, Jess Brown, used to say all the time, there's battleships and there's submarines. And I'll give you some examples. Tommy Tuberville is a battleship. Okay, this guy's a nuclear-powered battleship. All right, and then you've got guys like I would say Bud Kramer, submarine. Okay, so that's the thing. What are you?
My career shows I'm a battleship. You know, and it goes, I think, back to
I love asking
prosecutor
people that
days.
question.
Because you know you love a good scrap. You understand that there are certain fights you just got to fight, whether or not you win or lose. And I think we very much I see a battleship as one that's very visible in its fight, very available for the enemy to be able to take shots, but ultimately effective in what it does. And that's I think how it would be.
So your campaign is interesting in the sense, like I said, you were the front runner, but it just seems like every couple of days another person pops up. It's like, hey, I'm head basketball coach Auburn. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do it. Hey, I'm a radio talk show host. Maybe I'll do this. And then you just have all sorts of different people just popping out of the woodwork and saying, maybe I'll take a shot at this. What do you think that means?
Yeah, it's an open seat. You know, there are not opportunities many times to be able to take an opportunity to be able to run for United States Senate. I think it is reflective if people see it as an opportunity to be able to deliver results for Alabama. Look, I welcome anybody that wants to run. It means that we have a chance to share a vision for what the state is. I think it hardens and helps me become a better candidate when there's others that likewise see the same path for themselves. And so I think we'll see finally, maybe by the next couple of months, the field finally be set. But it's a unique opportunity to be able to run, and don't begrudge anybody for doing that.
You have a question?
Yeah, I had a quick, as we discussed thoroughly that you are the front runner.
I heard that.
What committees of interest, what would be your focus in D.C.?
Yeah, I think broadly is to make sure that we're not sort of doing the same things that we see Senator Britt. For example, no need for me to be on a Judiciary Committee when she's already there, has the ability to have influence. We need to be supplementing opportunities for both senators to be able to enhance Alabama's standing. And so being on agriculture, being on armed services will be something that will be important for me. This region, for Huntsville, for example, clearly not only to be able to support our war fighters, but also those that are providing them with opportunities to be safer and more effective in what they do. And then ultimately, what is it that's driving Alabama's economy? We need to be able to engage on those issues.
You mentioned Senator Britt, and then obviously you're running for Senator Tuberville's seat. What is your relationship like with the current delegation?
I think it's very good. I mean, know them all well. Senator Britt and I have had multiple conversations, and really, you know, she obviously learned at the feet of Richard Shelby, understands how the Senate works. It's clearly a rules-driven, seniority-driven group, and finding opportunities, particularly coming in early on when you don't have those years of experience. How do you have an opportunity to be effective? I think Senator Britt's a wonderful resource for that, and we look forward to being a part
Real
of it.
quick question. We only got a couple seconds left here. I'm going to ask you a complicated question. You've been on this side of the political spectrum for quite some time, on the Attorney General and DA side. As a lawmaker, you'd be writing those laws. How often do you look at something you're about to defend and be like, I wouldn't have put that in there? Like, how often is that an experience you think that works?
It happens, and yes, only because as the person responsible for defending states' laws, you understand where it is you need to operate and things that you need to be careful of. I think it'll be good guidance for me moving forward.
There we go. Attorney General Steve Marshall, thank you very much for joining us. He's running for United States Senate as well. Some people say he's a front runner.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, well, let's take a quick time out here. When we come back, I've got a parting shot for you. Mecca's leaving, so the show gets so much better. Stay tuned.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, You'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com. Scout Pest Control is locally owned and operated. We offer superb customer service and can even clean up after pests. When you think pest control, think Scout. Call us at 256-216-1088 or visit ScoutPestControl.com.
At Elite Door Service, we're your local experts for all things garage doors, residential and commercial. Our licensed and insured team is led by a certified master technician. When it comes to garage doors, don't settle for average. Choose Elite Door Service.
Think you need a new roof? Think again and save thousands. We'll help you put off the high cost of a roof replacement for at least 5 years.
Or 10.
Or sometimes even 15.
We're America's most trusted roofer because we always try to save your roof rather than replace it.
We'll restore your roof for a fraction of the cost of a new one. But don't wait. If your roof loses too much protective coating, it's too late. Call now or scan the code and we'll give you an assessment of your roof for free.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I'm Dale Jackson. We got the party shot coming up in a second, but real quick, head on over to yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for my email blast, the 7 things you should be talking about today, every day, right there in your email when you wake up. All right. My party shot this week is directed at all the people who are upset about the Deschler High School case and how it was handled. Rob Broussard from Madison County is a good man. The investigation was done, and then it found that this was a freak accident. Now, you may not believe this, you may have a problem with it, and I think that's completely fair. And the parents say this is not over yet, and I think they should pursue the avenues they have for a civil case, and we'll get more information about this. But we don't have any information that says this was an actual attack. Lots of scuttlebutt, lots of rumors, but the investigation involving text messages and interviews and all these other things found that it was a freak accident. You can believe that or not, that's your choice, but I think spreading rumors on this is probably not the way this should be handled. We'll continue to follow the case. Thank you very much for being here, watching, and listening to Alabama Politics This Week.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.